Welcome to Energize and Revitalize with Dr. Amy. I'm Dr. Amy Coopersmith, a doctorate prepared nurse practitioner, and this show is about empowering you to live a radiant, healthy, and balanced life. I'm very excited to introduce today's guest, Cathy Mittelstadt, one of the owners of CrossFit Bearcat. You all know CrossFit. It's that big blue building off of 100 in Bunnell. So welcome, Kat.
Well, thank you so much, Dr. Amy, and we really appreciate having the conversation with you today.
Yeah. So I've been doing CrossFit for about 8 years, on and off, or no, not off, on. I love the workouts, but I really love about this box is the community, that special bond that us athletes have together. I found it really motivating to work out with other people that are kind of crazy like me.
Crazy. Oh, well, community is such a big part of being motivated and trying to
Yeah,
get in and work on your personal fitness journey. And so when you can come into a group experience and you have other folks there cheering you on, that just makes that energy level just rise to the top.
absolutely. So how did CrossFit Bearcat get started?
Wow. So we actually have been serving Flagler County for, 12 years now. We opened in 2013 at a little hut in the airport.
Yeah.
And eventually we've moved on to the building that you now have mentioned earlier. And it just became something that myself and Jody, the other owner, wanted to continue to foster fitness and lifestyle for everyone in the community, knowing there was a previous box that unfortunately was closing down.
Right.
So we just happened to jump on that opportunity and stumbled into this business venture, which we never thought would even be existing right now. So we're grateful. And we love the fact that you mentioned community because that's what it's been all about. We couldn't do it without our
Absolutely.
coaches and our people who want to keep coming and getting healthy and happy.
Yes. So where did the name Bearcat come from?
Oh gosh, you're going to ask that question, huh? Bearcat. What is Bearcat? So Jody Bear, she's one of the owners.
Yes.
She got coined that term, Jody Bear, at one of our fitness competitions where someone mentioned she looked like a bear where she was getting ready to jump before she started to do her particular movement. And of course, everybody calls me Cat. So we just sandwiched those two things
I
together
love
and
it.
ended up with Bearcat, just kind of the way it morphed and came to be.
Yeah. So how have you grown? You mentioned you were in a tiny little space when you started. How have you morphed over the years?
Well, 900-foot space at the airport originally, and it really is about membership and
Yes.
growing and trying to be attentive to your audience and what their needs are. So over time, space becomes paramount to how you want to
Yes.
have your classes and how you want to function safely within that zone. So we had to move from the airport to another location in Bunnell, and again, we outgrew that location. And fortunately, we worked with the Small Business Association and a
They're
local.
wonderful.
Oh,
Yes.
fantastic! We couldn't have done it without them. They really helped us put together a business model, and we bought some land in Bunnell, and we actually built that blue building just for a CrossFit experience.
That's awesome. So for listeners who don't understand, what is a box?
So a box is a nomenclature for a gym. So there are many type of environments that you go to. And it just started way back when CrossFit was first born in kind of a garage style atmosphere.
Mhm.
So everybody just labeled it a box. So that's kind of what we've always just called ourselves is a CrossFit box. And if you go across the United States and actually internationally, that's what they refer to most gyms at.
Mhm. And you were able to design a box just right for you and your athletes.
At that time, we did. We wanted to build it with the funds that we could afford and the space that we had to utilize the most that we could with that particular building. And so we were grateful to partner with a local builder and help us put everything together. And here we are now.
Yes. So what's a typical CrossFit class like?
Wow, there's nothing
It's
typical about
different every time, right?
exactly, and you know that as a runner, you came in and you've kind of experienced
Mhm.
the challenges of the muscle strength and endurance, and combining that with gymnastics and lifting. So, in a 1 hour time frame that we offer our classes within, we want to give you a great warm up, and then we want to move into a strength or a skill piece,
Mhm.
followed by a WOD. So, come on, Amy, ask me what a WOD is.
What's a Wildcat?
WOD stands for Workout of the Day in CrossFit kind of nomenclature, that little title there. So then we do the WOD, and then we'll end up with a mobility piece or a cool down piece, all within that 1 hour, and it's
Mhm.
led by a CrossFit trained coach.
And your coaches are really amazing because every athlete's different. And you have some really amazing advanced athletes, and then you have some beginners or even a 60-something-year-old lady come in who maybe hasn't been exercising regularly. And your coaches are able to tailor that workout so that everybody gets a good workout.
Well, and thank you, because you're right. It is about the coaches and how you want to embrace your coaches to be welcoming to anyone who walks into the box to get their workout, knowing that we do have teenagers and we also do have an older clientele, males and females, different levels of their ability, different goals they want to focus on. And so we always want to make sure our coaches are attuned to each one of those individual athlete needs.
Yes. So what advice would you give to someone who might be nervous or intimidated to try CrossFit?
Well, it's interesting you said that. I'll have to share a quick story about Coach Frank, one of our older coaches who's been along with us for the journey. When he first tried Coach Fit, the approach was, hey, can you do this? And the person who was running that particular gym at the time said, well, I don't know, can you? So I think it's more about your approach to anyone can do CrossFit,
Yep.
knowing that you're coming into a safe environment with trained coaches. We're going to work around if you have a mobility issue, if you have a previous injury, we will work with you and you can absolutely do CrossFit. Now, when you and I work out, Amy, you know that you are fast paced, muscle fibers, you're moving quick, and Kat over here is in slow motion. So within that class, you're going to have people at all different levels moving at different speeds. But I think that's the beauty of a CrossFit coach who knows how to balance those needs.
Absolutely. And, our coaches too, they know us. So they know that I'm kind of good at cardio. And so I might be maybe pushed and encouraged to do my best there, but I have some shoulder mobility issues. So that's where I have to kind of step back and it's, oh, Amy, don't get hurt. This is a better choice for you. This is how you can scale this workout.
100%. And I think that's what's really important. When a coach looks at the clients that they're going to have in the particular
Yeah.
class that day, their mind is already wrapping around, okay, how can I help that particular person? I know that they just had a shoulder surgery
Yeah.
or that particular person just tweaked their Achilles heel. So what can I do? So we put a lot on our coaches with that responsibility, but they're very good at their craft. And so they prepare and make sure all of our athletes are taken care of.
Absolutely. So I know people think that CrossFit is just for athletes or very fit people, but this show is a lot about healthy aging. And I really think exercises like CrossFit are so imperative for us all to age healthy.
100%. And I think as we get older, and I'm speaking for myself too, I'm in my 60s, it's critically important that we always put our body under load. So what does that look like? Going to the grocery store and picking up a 24 case of water is heavy, but let's make sure that we're doing functional fitness to help support that. Even some people talk about what a burpee is and, oh, I don't want to do a burpee. Well, if you're not familiar with a burpee, as we get older, at some point we're going to trip and fall. Well, a burpee is
Right.
going to help you functionally get up safely.
Yep.
So those are the things I think that transfer over into functional fitness and how it applies to everyday life.
Absolutely. And just nature of aging, we're going to lose muscle in our 40s and our 50s, and it just keeps accelerating if we don't do something.
100%. And so I think it's, important that throughout your week, what does that look like for you as an individual, but making sure you're getting outside and doing something or going and doing a fitness program, if it's CrossFit or not. We always want to encourage people just to stay active.
Yes, I feel like a broken record where I'm talking to my clients, your muscle, you have to keep your muscle. And, it's very protective. It helps support your hormone health and your metabolism. And of course, then as we get older, we want to prevent fractures. We need healthy bones.
You're nailing it right there. And I love the fact that you've invited us in for this conversation today, because I think CrossFit can help anyone be able to prepare for those lifelong demands that they have. And even every day, just trying to approach what your work demands are. If you have a job and you're stressful, this is a great time to come and have a good relief.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So we kind of have a joke in my house that you don't want to be around me if I haven't had my exercise because it's just such a great endorphin. Like you build up your endorphins and you release that stress out, and then life is a little easier to handle after that.
100%. And even if you can't make it to the box that day, did you go for a long walk with your dog, or did you just get outside and do something for yourself? It's critically important.
Yes, to stay healthy in so many different aspects. So another thing about healthy aging is people are surprised even after you've been, let's say, given a diagnosis of osteoporosis where your bones get very weak. You need to put those bones under load in order for them to regenerate and to prevent it from getting worse.
100%. And I think the medical field, as it continues to evolve, I appreciate talking to physicians now who recognize that the older generation, that being under load by doing some type of weightlifting program is critically important. It's not that your bones are brittle now and we're going to break them more.
Right.
It's that we're making sure that your muscle tissue around those particular joints are even stronger. So if you do happen to have a trip, you're not going to break your hip or something drastic along that line. So it's a balance. It definitely is a balance.
Absolutely. And I think too, I've talked to some more mature people in about CrossFit in general. And I think it does take emotional maturity so that you do prevent injury. Because sometimes, oh, I did CrossFit and I hurt myself. Well, your coach didn't tell you to do that. You did that. So it's knowing your own body too and knowing your own limitations and still getting a great workout, but not doing something that's going to, put you on the couch recovering.
Totally. And I think of the times where I'm in there coaching and I look at some athletes who really want to bust through that wall, so to speak. And I have to go over there and just remind them, you have a life outside of the box today. Make sure that you are loading the barbell accordingly. Don't overdo it, because you do, as an athlete, you're very competitive and you always want to get that gain. Well, sometimes it's more about a quality rep or approach to doing something than just how much weight you're putting on that barbell.
Yeah. And something that's come up lately, some of our maybe less experienced athletes who maybe are a little older, starting a little later in life, and they'll come in and say, oh, I only did, and just kind of put down what they've just done. And I'll say, you look pretty sweaty to me. I think you got a great workout. And just like kind of getting newer people to understand that you did the best workout for you today.
100%, you nailed it right there. So
Yeah.
when you walk into the box, to the CrossFit box, and you want to do a workout, I think that's the biggest thing, is having that mindset that I need to do the best that I can do, and not to compare yourself to the other athletes in the box or in whatever fitness program that you're in, because it's all about you and what your goals are, and
Right.
being able to sensibly train without getting yourself an injury.
Yep, absolutely. And I think sometimes when newer people feel intimidated, I think just pointing that out, like that we're all different and everyone has their own goal for today. And once you start talking to the other athletes, nobody in there is like, well, I lift this much. Like everyone's just there to do their own personal best and to encourage everyone else along the way.
Totally. It's really fun to see a newer athlete 2 or 3 weeks into their fitness journey. They're like, oh my gosh, my everything hurts. Well, you're finding muscles that you probably haven't used in a while. And then we kind of joke around and say, hey, you drank the Kool-Aid. We know you're coming back. But that's the thing. That soreness is a good sign. It demonstrates that you're going to stretch that muscle and you're going to develop some growth in that particular area. So that's always fun to watch them go through that cycle.
Absolutely. I'm going to have you hold that thought. We're going to pause for a break from our sponsor. You're listening to Energize and Revitalize with Dr. Amy. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Energize and Revitalize with Dr. Amy. I'm Dr. Amy Coopersmith, and my guest today is Cathy Mittelstadt from CrossFit Bearcat. So before the break, we were talking about CrossFit and all the health benefits and how many different types of athlete can benefit from CrossFit. CrossFit in general is also very involved in community, in events and fundraisers. So last month you did an event for Mission 22, which is an organization that focuses on raising awareness and prevention of veteran suicide. And we also have a guest coming up on this show where we talk more specifically about a charity that really helps veterans in Flagler County. So I look forward to you all hearing that. So the Mission 22 that we did at the box, tell everyone about that.
So that was on a Saturday, and it really was about raising awareness to veteran suicide. And the 22 lives a day are lost, which is way, oh my gosh, any life lost is just, can't even put words to it. So what we wanted to do was just raise awareness at the box. And so we put it out there for anyone to come in that day and do our workout with us. And your approach to that particular workout was thinking about a veteran who's in the service and what resources and fundraising can we do to give back. So if they are considering, unfortunately taking their own life, where can they reach out to? So Mission 22 was first evolved by a CrossFitter who came up with wanting to give back, and this is what he did. So we spent that Saturday doing a specific workout designated around that particular organization. So we're grateful to encourage others to participate in all the community events that we do, and that was a special one.
Yes. I've shared, I don't think on the show, my daughter's in the Navy, and she had just come in from deployment or was about to come in, and her ship got delayed and we had to cancel flights. And I said, I don't think I'm going out. And then we did that workout and I said, I'm going out. and, and of course, because there's nobody more important than my favorite veteran there.
Absolutely, and those workouts are very difficult because they want you to struggle.
Yeah.
They want you to kind of put yourself in the space of someone who's committed themselves to serving others. So that workout that day was teams of two, and if I can remember right, we had some people laying on the floor afterwards, going, "I'm still alive and I'm fighting
Struggling
for
for
others."
breath.
That's
Yes.
right.
Yes. So now you have another event coming up.
Yeah, so exciting. So October typically is Breast Cancer Awareness Month.
Yes.
And traditionally, CrossFit Bearcat has always, each year, done something to give back. And last year, we did a smaller event that was in our box, and we designated all the money to a company called Compete for a Cure. And it was really pretty cool. Last summer, Jody and I were at the CrossFit Games in Texas, and we met the founder of that particular organization.
Wow.
So this year, we're kind of upping our ante, and we're doing a very large competition on September 20th, and all the money raised from that will go to Compete for a Cure, that organization.
That's wonderful. And so breast cancer, each year in the United States, 1 in 8 women will be diagnosed with breast cancer. In 2025, an estimated 310,000 new cases of invasive breast cancer will be diagnosed. And that's just in women. It does affect men too. So it's so important to keep supporting these organizations to help find a cure, and focus on prevention.
Absolutely. And, it touches close to our heart because one of the owners, Jody Prince, is a breast cancer survivor, as are many of our members.
Yes.
And so everyone knows someone who's been touched or their family's been touched by breast cancer. So we are grateful to do this each year. And this year, raising the bar to that September 20th competition, we have over 21 teams coming all around from Florida. We have a team coming down from Georgia. And it's teams of 3 ladies who will compete at CrossFit Bearcat that particular day. So we're very excited about raising the bar and all the money going back to Compete for a Cure, which they do amazing things. I know that company is from Wisconsin, but they give financial rewards and support to anyone to continue their fitness journey if they are dealing with breast cancer. So we love that, what they stand up for and what they're trying to do. And we're here to embrace that and help celebrate and push money back into their fundraising efforts.
Yes. So at the event, let's say I want to go and watch and spectate. What will I see?
Oh, please come. We'd love for everybody to participate. We'll have food trucks there and a coffee truck. It's going to be a great community family day right over that blue building in Bunnell. We'll have large tents outside. That front street will be closed. So the actual competition will start about 9 o'clock and go till about 2 or 3. Throughout the day, the teams will compete in 4 different workouts. We're going to challenge them there.
Wow.
So, if you're coming just as a spectator and you want to come in and see what it's all about and feel that energy, or come and donate, spend your money there, it's going to go back to a great cause. We'd love for anyone in the community to come out and join us.
I think that's going to be just fun to watch. And can people donate online as well?
Yes, they can. So if you go to give.competeforacure, there is an organization that shows drop-down windows, and you can just make a general donation, or you can go and donate under the team CrossFit Bearcat. So we're trying to raise more than $5,000. We're past halfway on our goal for that achievement. So anything else that can give to the cause, even if it's not under Bearcat, we just appreciate the support.
Yes. So you mentioned that the charity will help people going through breast cancer treatment continue to exercise. And research has shown that regular exercise can lower our risk for breast cancer, first of all, by 10 to 20%. And even if it's not CrossFit exercise, even that 150 minutes a week of just really moving your body is going to help decrease that risk.
Absolutely. So if you are a thriver or survivor of breast cancer, we want to encourage you to continue to be involved in any type of fitness activity that you can. As you know, when you're researching your field, you see it more often than we do. But we're just here to support anyone who wants to come out and give it a shot.
Yep. Yep. And even for survivors, you mentioned preventing recurrence, and that regular physical activity, it not only helps their immune system and helps because the way we get cancer is we sometimes our healthy cells become damaged, whether by the environment, by age, or just a genetic mutation. And that cell can become cancer. So it really relies on our healthy immune system to get that cell and get it out of the body before it does that. So anything we can do to support that immune system is going to help prevent cancer.
Yes, ma'am. In addition, you also talk about your family history.
Yeah.
I think it's important for people to recognize within their family history if they have a higher precipitant of maybe perhaps getting cancer, stay in front of that game by
Yes.
being active and making healthy nutritional choices in their lifestyles.
Right. If we focus on things we can control. So we can control whether or not we smoke, how much we drink, and then what we do with our bodies. And you can't control those genes, but genes have to be activated. And so there are little things we can do to decrease that risk. And then unfortunately, if we do end up with a diagnosis, again, taking those steps to just help us get through it.
Yes, and like I said earlier, we do have many of our members who are survivors, and we love to see them in there working, as much as they can. And there's times where they have to take a step back. We make those adjustments appropriately.
Yep. And I think too, the emotional, when we exercise, we're better emotionally. And when you're going through cancer, that's just, it can be devastating and stressful. And if you can keep your endorphins going, I think you're going to have a better recovery.
I agree 100%. I've seen it personally with a lot of our members
Yes.
and with Jody too, just staying active and having that wonderful support system as you go through something that might be challenging, like a cancer diagnosis, is critically important.
Yeah. And I think, again, because of our community, we're like a big family, a big dysfunctional family. But, I love the people that I meet at CrossFit. They're just such wonderful people. And I'm never bored when I go into the box.
Well, and I've seen you in all different classes, morning, afternoon, and evening. So you bounce all around. And Amy has no enemies, let me tell you that right now.
Aw.
So she's fantastic. Whenever she comes popping in the box, she's got that smile on her face, and she's elevating others around her.
Oh, I'm happy to hear that. The other morning I went in and I just was grumpy. And I just, I was for no reason. I was just in a mood. And I'm like, okay, I'm just going to work out. It'll be better. And I did feel better after.
I'm sure someone poked you and said, "Fix your face.
Yeah,
Come on,
I
let's have
know.
some
It's
fun
not
here."
so bad. So we mentioned how exercise can help, decrease our cancer risk. And it does it by, we mentioned the immune system. Hormones are also, we talk a lot on the show about hormones, and regular exercise can actually help keep your hormones in check. It helps decrease, there's a certain type of estrogen called estrone, which is the bad kind. And exercise is going to help decrease that bad estrogen and help, therefore, decrease your breast cancer risk.
It does, and again, I'm going to lean on you on the scientific side of all of this. I'm just here as the fitness support guru, but I can tell you, even as we have some of our clients now going into menopause, that same
Yes.
hormonal adjustment you've got to make.
Right.
It reduces the stress, it releases the endorphins, it helps kind of, you got to deal with your cortisol and some of those things that are going to also impact your recovery rate, but still being active and doing things is critically important.
And I've been listening to a lot of longevity experts, and they're really recommending more like HIIT type of exercise these days, and that's high intensity interval training. And some in the workout's different all the time at CrossFit, but just yesterday I was like, oh, this is HIIT. This is good for us. We're having healthy aging here, because you do that short, intense burst of a workout, and then you recover for a short time, and then you do it again, and then recover. But they're really promoting that type of exercise. Is very healthy for us, especially as we get older.
No, I agree with you totally. And I see it even in my own fitness journey as I get older. I can't recover as quickly.
Yeah.
So if I do the interval style training, which you mentioned was the high intensity, in short increments of time
Yep.
with an appropriate recovery time, it's great because it's going to challenge your heart rate to spike.
Yes.
And the heart is the most important muscle. So we got to make sure we're challenging that in our cardio approaches. But doing CrossFit in general, That's the beauty of every single class. We're going to shorten and lengthen the time that we
Right.
spend in that cardio piece.
Yeah, I found it very helpful. I shared on a previous episode, my husband and I hiked on Rainbow Mountain, that it was a very high elevation. So just to start, my heart rate was elevated. And just to go up a slight incline, it felt like I was sprinting. My heart rate was just really going. And then I'd stop at the little rest point and I'd take a few breaths. And it reminded me of doing HIIT training. But because of my experience at CrossFit, I felt very comfortable with what I was feeling. And it allowed me to have a more pleasant hike.
Oh, I bet. And it allowed you to have a quicker recovery time too. So
Exactly.
that heart rate came down a lot
Right.
faster so you can start to plug your way up the hill some more.
Yeah, yeah, and it was so much fun.
That's awesome.
So I really want to thank you for joining us today. And again, we really encourage people to come check out the Girls Gone RX competition on September 20th, starting at 9 o'clock.
All day long we'll be there. We'll roll in earlier and put the barricades up and get the food trucks out there and put up the tents. So yes, please, community, come out and support the girls who are competing, but then also the great cause. And if you have an opportunity to give,
Yes.
make a donation. We sure would appreciate it.
Yes. And then anyone who maybe wants to try CrossFit, they should contact you because um, how do they go about trying a
Absolutely.
class?
So we offer Saturday free trial classes.
Mm.
Anyone wants to come on Saturday at 8:30? I have multiple coaches there, and we can work with people who've never done it before. Otherwise, just shoot us an email. Go to visit our website. We'll engage you, meet you at the box, walk around, talk to you all about CrossFit, and see if it's something that might be for you.
Yeah, or even come watch a class.
Oh, absolutely. Come on.
Yeah, come meet the people. All right. Well, thank you again.
Dr. Amy, I can't thank you as well and appreciate all sharing opportunities for CrossFit Bearcat and anything that we can do in the community to enhance all of our fitness lifestyles.
Yes. All right. And thanks for our listeners to tuning in to Energize and Revitalize with Dr. Amy. If there are topics you would like to hear about, please send an email to radiantpodcast2025@gmail.com. Check out our past episodes on Amethyst Wellness YouTube, and we're now featured on Apple Podcasts and all your favorite platforms. Please subscribe and leave a 5-star review with a quick comment. It really helps others find us so we can reach more listeners just like you. I'll be back next Saturday morning at 7:30 with more expert insights and practical strategies to help you live your healthiest, most energized life. Until then, stay healthy, and here's to your best life.